Hi all, everyone, welcome to my new little vlog here. Right before us on my cutting table, I'm just about to cut out a beautiful pink tweed waistcoat for my client. Now this is going to go with a jacket I'm making now, so I'm just going to show you this now. So you can see here, let's just bring this a bit closer so you can actually see more in its full glory here. Just bring this out a little bit there. Okay, so basically I'm making this jacket, just getting it ready for a fitting now. And I'll put some beautiful pink tweed flaps on, because this is a beautiful pink stripe check. So I'll put some beautiful pink tweed, and also now I'm making a pink tweed waistcoat to go with this, so it'll be a beautiful ensemble. She'll look striking and she'll be noticed on the street wearing this. So I've put, you can see here, I put a dummy sleeve in. Now the reason why I put a dummy sleeve in, a lot of tailors don't, but I do, because I've learned from 5 great tailors, and one of them actually made suits for Led Zeppelin and made suits for UB40, a great reggae band. And so he always used to put these dummy sleeves in whilst he was fitting his clients. And because what happens when you've got checks, you've got to match up the check exactly with the sleeve exactly going down. Sometimes you might have a drop shoulder, where this client, she had a drop shoulder, so I've had to pick up the shoulder line to pick it up, and that will actually affect the stripes going across. So I always put a dummy sleeve in. Once the pitch of the sleeve is perfect and the hang of the front is perfect, then I'll actually mark on this dummy sleeve and I'll cut it out. So it'll be correct. Also on the collar, I've actually done a few designs along the way. I've always put a dummy collar on as well for her. So this side is more shaped, more curved, because I've got this beautiful curve here of this lapel line going in. It makes, aesthetically, it looks more feminine. So that's why I opted to do that. So it's always good to look at things when you're designing or making stuff up for people. You know, you've got the utilitarian aspect, but also you've got the aesthetics as well. You've got to balance out the two between them. And that's what I always do when I'm designing or making things for people. So I wanted to put this beautiful pink tweed flap just to really echo the pink checks on the stripes and checks on here. So now on the collar, I've actually echoed this little curve here. So I've actually angled this out more of a curve on the collar there. But this one's a bit more straighter. Then it curves, slight subtle curve going in. So I'm going to get, when it's on, I'll actually visually see which is the best side, having a beautiful curved collar or more a slight curve. So that's what I like to do. So, right, let's get back to here. So now I'm going to cut out this waistcoat. I don't think the camera can pick it up too much because I've done it in yellow chalk. But anyway, so I'm going to put this pattern I made for my clients here. And you can see I've allowed extra here. These are called inlays. I always leave inlays. Everyone should leave inlays if you're making mock-ups, everyone, because this will ensure if things are not too tight or whatever, you can let it out. So I always leave about a good extra inch on the front here, and on the bottom, and on the side seam I always leave an inch, and at the top probably about a quarter of an inch, 3/4 of an inch inlay there. These are called inlays. These are not your seam allowances. The seam allowance is actually inside my pattern. It's there, that we stitched in there. This is extra on top. And in the couture and bespoke world, we always leave inlays on the side seams and on the back side seams as well. So once I've got the fitting, this will all be trimmed off afterwards. All of this will be cut off afterwards, but the side seam inlay will be left on. So if my client gains weight, I just let it out. Simple as that. That's what we do in the trade. So on that note, I hope you join me on this beautiful journey and making this beautiful female, a jacket and a waistcoat. And hopefully there's lots of tips and advice along the way, everyone. And enjoy yourself, be happy, have a great new year, and see you all soon. Ciao.